Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. Hey everybody, and I've got a special episode here for you. I'm truly excited. This was an interview with Michelle. Michelle Ann interviewed me and I was crying. I know, like seems like it's happening a lot lately, but I was crying. I was in tears, and we really went deep into my past, into my childhood, into things that I never shared before. So if you're interested in knowing more about what shaped me to become a millionaire, I would love you to have a listen and let me know what aha moment you get from this amazing interview that Michelle Ann did for me. All right. Thank you guys. Enjoy.
I can't contain my excitement because I've got an amazing guest for you today. I'm actually a little bit nervous to interview this beautiful lady. Her name is Francesca Moi, and she is my business coach, mentor. I look up to her. I would say I had a little girl crush on you, Francesca, but we have become quite good friends as well. So I can't say that anymore. But basically, it's that sort of relationship that I look up to you, Francesca, and you've been my mentor. And I wanted to interview you to sort of dig deeper and find out a little bit more about yourself. So Francesca and I met, I think it was 2 years ago. She runs an amazing, successful business called the Mafia Academy. And I joined that 2 years ago when I didn't even really have a business. I literally didn't even have I just got my business name. I don't know if you know that. And I joined up to do Francesca's Mafia Academy, and my business has like skyrocketed ever since. Like, I can't even explain how much it's changed my life. And I literally have just been told I have to start paying GST. So that's a sign of where we're at with my business. And I wouldn't have done any of it at all without this amazing lady, Francesca, being in my life. So her business is like really changing lives, like not just business wise, but personally at a personal level as well. And she's created this amazing tribe or community of like-minded men and women, and they just support each other. And it's just amazing what she's done. So yeah, I really do look up to her, and that's why I'm a little bit nervous today. I don't usually get nervous before these, but yeah, it's really, really cool. She's got a lot of followers too, so maybe that's why I'm nervous. So what I'm going to do today is speak to Francesca about how she got to where she is now. Because as I just mentioned, she's running a very successful business. What are we on? So over millions.
Yeah, like well,
1.5 million dollar business. Like, that's pretty impressive. And she's like a go-getter, man. Like, yeah. So, but she obviously hasn't always been like that. So what I wanted to do today was, just to go back and speak to Francesca about where she came from and how she got to where she is now, and sort of any hard times that you came through your life with, Francesca, that has molded you into the person that you are now. And so now you're being able to help other people, because I know you've done a lot of self-development. We went to Robbins together, and she's a self-development junkie. I think I
absolutely
like but she's like, yeah, does it all. So I'll pass it over to you, Francesca, to basically just take us back to what you used to be like, because I think a lot of your followers will know what you are now, and they just perceive you as this perfect, amazing
unicorn.
A unicorn, which you are, but you're a human too. And I realize,
absolutely, I'm not a unicorn.
I realize that being in business, that we are human, and people forget that face on that business that you look up to and your pedestal, and you think is this unicorn, perfect human being, actually is a human. So has their vulnerabilities and has their softer side. So I'm really keen to hear about that. So I'll pass it over to you, Francesca.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. I'm actually really excited. I love stuff like that. And I've got a podcast, that I talk about behind the scene, right? So I said, let's take you to the truth, right? People see the facade on social media. Is that all true? What is actually behind that? So I love that. I love that you created this. And I was like, don't be nervous. It's just me and you chatting in any other occasion. We chat a lot, so it's totally fine. But yeah, so taking back to this crazy journey, like I am not a unicorn. I whatsoever believe that I'm a unicorn. Actually, I think I always say that if I got a business to 1.5, legit, anybody can. When I say that, I truly mean it, because I was a dropout of school. I lost a year in school. Did you know that?
No,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I was really bad. I was really bad at school. Like I would refuse to study. Okay, let's take you back to when I was younger, right? So when I was growing up, my brother was really needed more support in school, and I think that they didn't understand it. My brother is a bit of a genius at piano. Like he likes play piano like Beethoven. Like he just had it in him. Also, he had to, my dad will force him to study when he maybe wanted to go outside. So that relationship with my dad created a little bit of insecurity in my brother. So at school, he will have fights and things like that. So mom and dad will, support him whenever they could. So mom would spend every afternoon doing homework with my brother. So I was 4 years younger. So I was like, I can't wait to go to school so I can also spend all afternoon with mom.
Yes.
And guess what? I go to school and the teacher says, she actually is very smart. She doesn't need any help. And I was like, she really knows how to read. She really knows how to spell. She doesn't need any help. So, just continue worrying about her brother. She's good. And I was like, what just happened? What the hell? What do you mean? So all my neediness and all my anxiety became like through the roof. And I was like, I was wishing to need help. I was wishing that I wasn't that smart. I didn't want to be smart. I want to help mom. And by the way, my brother is even smarter than me. I'm not trying to say that he's actually a genius. Like I honestly think that he's got like that IQ next level. This is why school wasn't really working for him, because he's too smart. But it was like fascinating how I was like, I get punished because I'm smart, whatever. Like I didn't like it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm stop studying. I'm not reading anymore. So I stopped legit reading.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I remember it was a choice. I was 6 and I was like, okay, if you don't want to help me, I'm stop reading. And the teacher used to say that to my mom. She was like, oh, she's just playing like victim and just trying to get your attention, but just ignore her. She will turn around. She loves school, so she will turn around. And I was like, whatever. So I started to hang out with kids that were not studying, and I would run amok, and I was a very good kid. I would do nothing wrong, but I would not study. I would refuse to study. So when I got to, I remember I would have anxiety at night because I was like, oh my God, there's an exam tomorrow and I didn't study. And I would do mute. Like the teacher would ask me questions and I'd be like, I remember I put my hands under my bum, because in Italy, when you talk, you move your hands.
Yes.
And I would remember like literally going, I'm not speaking. And I would put my hand under my bum and going, mm-mm. And even if I knew the answer, I wouldn't, because I want my parents to help me. I legit remember.
Like literally craving attention that bad that you went to that extent.
Yeah.
That's
and
insane.
I was like, it was humiliating, Michelle. I remember like everybody at school was like, do you want me to help you study? And I was like, no, I just wanted my mom and dad. But then when they started helping me, I had resentment and I was angry. And so I wouldn't let them help me. It was really interesting. Now looking back, after I've done all this personal development, I can see it. I can see why I was doing that. When I was little, I thought I was actually stupid. I thought the teacher got it wrong. I'm not that smart.
Wow.
Yeah. So I thought I was a little bit slower than other kids, because I would see my friends were like, they could study in 2 seconds. Like I started, obviously, because I didn't read. So I'm a little bit dyslexic. So when I go and read, like I struggle. So I don't know if you notice, in every of the Mafia Academy, I say, who wants to read? Because
God, yes.
Yeah, because I'm dyslexic. I can't read, especially in English. I can't really read fast out loud. And I've got that thing from school. I hate it. I just don't want to read out loud. So it's really interesting how all of that became that when I got to high school, the first year of high school, I had 3 subjects that I had to redo. And then the second year, I didn't pass it. So my mom and dad took me out of public school and put me at school with the nuns. Because yeah, legit true story, because I was like, it was a private school with nuns teaching us, and it was really it was a bit like hard for me to move school, and I felt like a failure. And I spent the whole summer studying Russian, because that school had Russian and they already had a whole year. So in the whole school, I passed the whole summer, I passed the exam. I've studied pretty much 12 months in 3 months. I did all of that and I passed the exam and I got 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And then I started school and then I stopped studying because I was one-on-one attention, right? So this 3 months, I had a teacher helping me one-on-one. So I was studying. But when I went back to school and it was the whole group and I didn't have attention anymore, I'll be like throwing tantrum and going, no, I'm not studying anymore. So I'll go from having a 9 in Russian to have a 2.
Oh, wowzers.
It was really hard.
How has this affected you now? Like, is that attention thing, does it still come up in your life now? Like, that's pretty full on.
That's really interesting that you say that, because then I think that everything changed when I started a business. I think that I found myself, the true me. Yeah. And all those years I was just trying to get mom and dad love and attention. And so I think that it started slowly when I moved out of home. So when I'm 19, it's funny that literally I think that everything happened for a reason. I had this dog that was the cutest thing and I would have never left her. And she left us. So she ran away when I was 18 and a day. So 18 years old in Italy, you can leave home. And I was 18 and a day and the dog left. And I was like, wow, she's setting me free. So we couldn't find her. We searched everywhere. She just disappeared. She just ran. And I was like, okay, she set me free. I should go now. So I went to live in London. And that's when I started to sort of realize, oh, wait, I don't need people. I don't need other things. And I think I maybe even went to the opposite of actually like showing independence and showing that I can do everything by myself, which is sort of not even healthy too much of that, right? Because now I'm 39 and single. And by the way, yesterday I applied for foster care. I'm going to become a foster mum.
Oh, what? That is massive. Look at the grin on your face. If you obviously can't see the grin on her face, but it's wide, man, because I know you want children so bad.
Yeah. So I'm excited to be able to contribute, whatever. I know it's going to be difficult. Everybody's listening. She already tried to scare the shit out of me, this lady. I'll probably do on purpose to say, it's not going to all be rosy. I'm like, I know, but I'm here to contribute. Life is not about us by ourselves, right? So yeah, anyway, we'll just jump all the way from when I was little to here. But yeah, I wanted to leave home. I would blame my parents. I would just hate them. I've got the best relationship with them, both of them now. But growing up, I was just a victim. I just didn't want to take responsibility for anything. And for me now, it's really hard when I see clients that are victim. I just want to shake them. I was like, just get over yourself. Just look on the other side. Like I take so much responsibility now, sometimes too much. Sometimes I always think it's my fault, because if I created what I created, anybody can. I went from being the slowest at school to start my own business. Like everybody of my friends are like, what are you doing in Australia? Like,
you're like honestly, famous now. You've created this business where well, yes.
I don't know if I'm famous, but
I would call you famous. Anyway, so you've gone from that. Like, what was there any moment that flipped it for you, or was it just a gradual change? Like, that's extreme to go from.
It is extreme.
Where you were to like what you're doing now. Like, that's insane.
Honestly, I think there was a moment that flipped it, and it was a Tony Robbins event. It sounds like a crazy thing, but during the last BMI, the last 3-day workshop with my clients, I was driving to work, and I remember at this Tony Robbins in 2015, I recorded this Tony Robbins meditation that he was doing, and you can hear me yelling on, when he says like, I'm the voice, and I'm like, I am the voice, and I'm yelling with all my voice. And I can feel, and I remember that in that moment, I chose to become a leader. I chose to, I believe, not follow. Like, I just, honestly, I get goosebumps.
I got goosebumps now too.
Everywhere, because when I listen to that back, I feel that Francesca, and I go, wow, you brave little thing. You did make a decision then. And I never looked back. I'm like, no, I'm making this work. And this is why I get so passionate with people. I'm going to stop thinking that it's so hard. It's the decision. And the moment that you decide, then everything aligns.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it fascinating and frustrating that I can do that in every area of my life except love.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it?
It's a decision. I'm like, all right, I decided I want a husband and kids. Now, let's go.
And everything else you've decided has just happened, clearly.
Yeah,
And
but
now
not
you've got
this bit.
Yes, but you're still doing something about it. Like, you're still taking some action to fulfill what you need and to give back as well.
Yeah, well, I didn't for years. I just sat in my ass and complained about it. So I went now to the place of going, what am I doing? Like I do and everything else. And because you know what? A lot of coaches were saying to me, because you know that I have coaches in every area of my life, right? A lot of coaches were saying to me, Francesca, this is a place where you don't do. This is a place where you go into your feminine and you be.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, let me be.
Let me meditate a child into my life.
Right? I'm like, I am being, people. I've been for the last 10 years and nothing happened. What's going on? And I meet the wrong man and I get my heart broken and I'm done. I just want to love someone. And it's actually been a really hard year for me in that area, because everybody see me from the outside and then, oh, she's single, she doesn't have kids, of course she's successful. And I'm like, you guys don't see, like, being single and by myself at 39 is not really a plus. Like,
I was going to ask you that, like, yeah, you've got it all, like, as people looking in, but there's always a sacrifice. Well, not always, but usually there's something that's sacrificed in your life.
Yeah, well, I don't have anybody to share my success with, so I tried to do that with Ollie Boy, my dog, but it doesn't really he barks when I'll celebrate, but that's pretty much it. I was actually complaining to him last night. I was like, okay, Ollie, listen, let's have a conversation right now. I got you to get cuddles and you don't cuddle. Something wrong with this. Where is the return button? I want to change dog. I'm kidding. I love him too much. Right? Don't get any cuddles for him.
You got to train him better, Francesca.
I know. Maybe I should just like put treats in behind my ear and get like a little hug.
My Devon Shepherd, like, literally when I go pat her at nighttime, she puts her paw out on me, like, literally, like, it's not a cuddle, but it's the same feeling.
Oh.
She looks at me and puts her paw out on my leg because she knows we're having a moment. So it can definitely, the bond is there, like the connection.
Oh, the bond is there, but it is reflecting my energy, right? Because I'd say I want love, but then when I get it, I push it away.
Oh, that's big, hey? That's massive.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, and so have you thought into why you're pushing it away?
I think is the fear. So going back to my childhood, and I believe that everything that happens now is sort of start from when we were little. And my dad was a cheeky man. He wasn't very faithful to mom, and he brought a lot of anger into the house because he was feeling guilty. And that guilt was turning into anger and abuse. It wasn't abusive physically, but a word like verbal abuse was every day.
Worse.
Yeah. So I think that I am craving love and I want love, but I just don't want drama. And I am afraid of that. I'm afraid of really, really letting someone in and then letting him disappoint me. And I think that the last relationship got also very close to that. I'd never opened up my heart like I did for the last person, and it was quite hurtful. And there was a lot of I am Francesca Moi. I teach people mindset and I teach people how to read people, and I chose the wrong person. Like, how the hell did I not?
It's because we're human.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we're doing this interview, because we can't be perfect. Like, if we're perfect, we'd be bloody angels in the sky. That's what I discussed in my first podcast interview with myself, was that I'd realized when I think I was about 6, I wanted to be perfect. So, okay, I'm going to do everything good and be a perfect child. But then my little 6-year-old brain went, well, if you're actually perfect, then you wouldn't, this is deep for a 6-year-old, you wouldn't be in human form. Wow. You'd be an angel, because humans, how does one work that out at 6? I don't know.
That's amazing.
It's pretty crazy, but that shows to me that we've been around a few times.
Yes.
To know this sort of stuff. But as I was saying, we are human, and we're not perfect, and we can't be perfect. Otherwise we won't be on this earth.
And I think that with the success that I have achieved, there is the perception and the expectation. And first and foremost, from me to me, like I know that other people have that perception and expectation, but I think that I do to myself way more than other people. So I'm like here going, by now I should be married. By now I should have someone. If I'm that good and people are saying that I'm so amazing, why the hell I'm single? Like there's all of that expectation and all of that. If I'm still single, then maybe I'm not that good. And then there is all that doubt, and then start to creep into the business side as well. So it's the struggle is real. People don't want to see it, or they choose not to see it. I do share some of it on social media. I do share what I can, but I also know that I've got, and maybe I'm wrong, but I know that I've got a purpose, and people are looking up to me for direction. And I do share that I go through ups and downs, and I do share some, but I do feel that people are waiting for me to direct them. So I feel that I can't fall apart.
Yeah, that's a huge pressure. That's a massive pressure to feel. And I think the hardest thing for you is that you're in business. I know you've got your team and they're really close, but you're in business by yourself, and you also don't have that partner. Can't even imagine, like, business is lonely enough by yourself, but at least if you had that partner that doesn't just woof at you, that you could share the lows and the hard times. Like that's the hard thing here.
And I haven't met a man that is willing to watch my success and not be competitive or jealous or try to stop it or try to dim it. Like one person that I was dating was like, oh yeah, I saw somewhere that you wrote 3 books. Like, well, you paid someone else to do it for you. Like, I guess you didn't do it. Like trying to make it sound like, it's not that, like, I'm not getting intimidated by you because you wrote 3 books. Like, okay. So I'm like, yeah. I said, look, it actually wasn't that hard because I've done it with someone that's got a really good system. So it wasn't that hard. It's true. But the way it was said, I was like, okay, you're trying to make it sound like less important.
Because especially, it's very hard for females and males when you've got a strong feminine energy. Like, you are a strong woman. And I know, you have.
But am I?
Well, that's what you portray.
But that's the thing, right? So this is what okay, let's go there, right? Because my family, everybody always said to me, but you're the strong one, but you're the bigger one. Or I wasn't the older one in my family, but I was the happy one, and I was the positive one. And like, just stop it. Like, you know best, you know better. Just don't trigger that person, or don't do that. Like, I was like, when am I allowed to misbehave? When am I allowed to throw a tantrum? When am I allowed to, like, I always been the glue of my family. I've always been the one that everybody comes to me to, vent or whatever. So I've never, ever had the other way around. And it's been really like this, I'm strong. It's been I'm so over it of everybody saying that to me, then, you're so strong. I'm like, am I? I'm like, I don't have another choice. Like, I'm doing it. I'm by myself on the other side of the world, running a business. But am I strong? Like, am I stronger than you? I don't think I am, because you went through 2 births and you've done it. You pushed 2 humans out of your thingy, and I haven't.
With no drugs, mind you. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right? So how am I stronger than you? I probably am not.
We're all equal. But the thing is, I think, and this might come part of it, is it's what you are portraying out to the world, that you are strong, and people need to see that other side. And that's why I remember listening to that podcast you did on, what's your podcast called, just so everyone knows?
Business Behind the Scene.
Business Behind the Scene. Scene or scenes?
Scene.
With Francesca. And I listened to this podcast of hers, and I heard another side of her that I hadn't heard before. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I felt so privileged to hear that side of your life, because you're successful, and I know you do share bits and pieces on your social media, but it was really lovely to hear that, that you weren't as, like, tough as everyone thinks. And maybe when you portray that out, and with them looking for a partner, that opening up your feminine energy more and just portraying more of the vulnerable side. I never told you this. I don't think I've told you this before. I'll just do it on a podcast, but
go for it.
A little while ago, I had this vision of you, because I'm quite spiritual. I had this dream. I actually dream of you quite regularly, not in that sort of way. I dreamt of you last night.
Okay.
No, it was a dream of you, and there was a male standing there, and he was like carrying you, like it was this masculine figure who'd picked you up. And it was just, I got this feeling like he just allowed you to be Francesca. Like he wasn't worried about your success. He didn't feel threatened. He had his you said, can we swear? Yep.
Let's do it.
He had his shit together.
Nice.
And he wasn't fearful of your success, and he allowed you just to be in your feminine. And it was such a vivid dream. And I thought, I didn't know you that well back then, so I didn't tell you. But yeah, I've also had dreams about you when you went through all that stuff with your last partner. I don't know if Diane, but I had dreams about you then as well. And I rang Diane and said, is Francesca okay? Because I just had this dream that she's not okay. And I didn't know, but you were gone for
maybe go into your dream and ask for the address of this guy.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I might do that.
Maybe let's just find him already, because I'm one. Honestly, like okay, there's two things here I want to say. One is I feel that I haven't allowed me to be me fully. So as I came to Australia, and I've done that from the moment I moved house and I went from Italy to London, I was able to recreate myself. Nobody knew me in London, and it was like, all right, well, that don't have to be that whinging Francesca. I can be something else. So it became like a thing that every time I changed city, I would be like, okay, who else am I going to become, right? I can just reinvent myself. And it was quite good and healing, and I could, there was so much growth to be able to do that, because a lot of time when I talk to people that have lived and growth in the same suburb, they all have that perception of who they are. Like other people, but I can't change. Other people know that I'm the lazy one, or other people know that I'm this. I didn't have that. I could just, I am who I want to be, and I don't talk to my friends anymore. So let's go. Like I used to do that a lot. I used to just push people out so that I don't have to stay like that. I can just change my whole personality and recreate myself, which is good in one side, because I have changed massively. But this is now where now I've found who I truly always have been, but I never was able to be. But what I found is that when I go into relationship, I just go straight back to that old needy Francesca.
Oh, wow. That's
yeah. So it's really hard for me to find these strong, independent, and loving, because I'm very loving to my clients and I'm very loving to my team, and I love laughter and I love inclusion and all of that. I struggle to bring that into a relationship because there is a deep fear of being betrayed and not trusting men, and eventually they're going to turn around. So I think that's been, when you were saying that, I was like, yeah, well, I'm learning how to hold my younger version of me rather than judge her and say she was that, and she was bad and she was a victim and blah blah blah. I'm sort of inviting her back in Australia. So I used to say she's not allowed in Australia.
Oh, that is so cool. Yes. Because you have created this person, Francesca Moi. I know that's your name, but you've created what I described you as before. Like that's strong, that thing. But yeah, when you bring that little inner child back in from Italy and embrace and love her and accept her for everything she is, I think that's where the magic happens. Because then when she's okay, then when you do meet someone, then you're okay inside deeper.
Yeah. And it's funny because I'm, as you know, I'm dating here and there. I'm trying to date, and I've been
we're not allowed to say the word try, remember?
True.
This is what I do in Soul School to everyone that says try in my Soul School course. They get the big cross arms. I teach them all now when they hear the word try, they've got to get like that. Anyway, you are dating.
No tries. I am dating. Well, at the moment I'm not, but I want to date. So I'm on the dating sites, let's put it that way. And I've got a couple of male that I haven't felt a connection with, but we stayed friends and we're sort of chatting here and there. And the other day I had a really tough day. I'm buying a new apartment and there's a bit of difficulties in all of that. So anyway, I had a bit of a tough day again, like going, why I have to go through this by myself? Like, do you know what I mean? to me, it's like a male thing. Like, I don't know this stuff. Like, I don't know how to buy a house. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I need to talk to, I would love to have someone to have my back. And it was a really down day. And I was like, I'm so over all doing all of this by myself. I'm by my second house by myself. Like, this is not what life meant to be. Like, I want to celebrate. Like, this is why, you know what? This is why I haven't bought a house in so long. And like, I had a deposit for probably 4 years. I haven't bought it because I was waiting for that special person. I was waiting, and I did a post about it. I was waiting for that man to share that with. I'm like, yes, I've done all the successful stuff, but the house, the home, I'm gonna buy it with him. And obviously it didn't happen. So I'm like, okay, well, the first one was just a house, and I'm using it for the business, and it's fine. All right, what about the second one? Oh, the second one is gonna be my family home. No, it's not. And so had a really tough day, and then when I have tough days, I just shut everybody down, including my mum. She usually is my rock, and I always let her in. But when I'm really down, I don't even talk to mum. And mum was trying to get in touch with me, and I was like, Mum, not today. Oh, that's Ollie
there's
boy.
Ollie boy.
That's Ollie boy protecting me.
I was going to say let him introduce, but then I realized I can't see him.
I know.
They've heard him now. That's
They've
Ollie boy.
heard him, yeah. As I think that my chef is coming in. So it's just crazy how this guy that has been a friend, he was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, why does he message me today? Like, it's weird. And I said, look, and he usually calls me at that. It was like 8:30, and I said, look, I'm about to go to bed to meditate. I had a really tough day. And he said, do you want to talk? I'm here. And I was like, oh, no, I don't talk when I'm down. Like, and Audition was like, no. And he's like, you don't have to be always bubbly, fun, entertaining you with me. You can just be you. And it really sank in. I'm like, oh, that feels so good. I still didn't let him in.
I love that.
I still didn't let him in, but it felt so good because I'm aware that I don't want to lead him on. I don't want him to think like that is more than, I'm sure there is only a friendship there. So I just didn't want him to think anything more. So, but at the same time, I do that a lot. I always think about others. I'm like, I don't want him to think that, so I'm just going to shut him off. And I'm not the one, my friend, to feel my negative energy, so I'm just going to not share it. Like, I was just open up. Like,
similar. I'm just relating to something that happened to me the other day. I didn't realize how similar we were, but again, I'm single. I do have kids, but and I was at a cacao circle where we were facing each other, and Diane was running and said, like pretty much asked for a leader, put your hand up to be number A. And every couple I went with, I always put my hand up because I'm a leader. I step forward, put my hand up, and I got to the fourth or fifth one, and I was paired with a man, and they said, put your hand up. And this man, we didn't speak one word, but he looked me in the eye. I still get goosebumps without saying a word. He's like, I've got this. Put his hand up. Well, I just bloody friggin' burst into tears because I didn't realize how much I was always being in my masculine, stepping forward, putting up like you're trying to do, buy a house, do all this stuff on your own and be everything. When sometimes it's nice to just sit back and accept the help and accept that someone else can take the lead from you.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself a break. Like, it's hard.
That phrase, I have got this. Oh, I remember, oh my goodness. I remember my brother told me once, my brother and I don't have a good relationship, unfortunately, now, but at the time we did. And I will never forget, he sent me this text and he said, I've got you, sis. And literally, I was in tears. I was a mess. I was like, oh my God. And I didn't realize how much I was doing all by myself and not allowing and needing, wanting that man, that person to just have my back. And for me, having my back doesn't mean that it has to pay for shit or it has to, right? It just means the presence of, someone that literally can be there. Like, he's just so hot. Like, I find it so hot as well.
Me too.
Right? But so refreshing. And I feel that maybe because I'm a strong woman, but I call it bullshit. Like, I can be a strong woman and find an even stronger man. Like, I'm not that strong. Like, I don't feel that I'm one of those women that pull men down and treat them like shit. I will never do that. I don't even talk bad about men usually. Like, I struggle to, because I do respect them. Like, I do feel that I'm not understood in this world, and women are taking over and they sort of lost their space, and they don't know what to do. So I feel for them, but in the same time, I have chosen men that I have to be their mother.
That's interesting in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. And that is, at the beginning is really good because I feel useful.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it gives you that feeling of being able to
change, because I'm a giver, right? I love to give. So I want to say, no, come here, I'll help you. I'll do this for you. Don't worry. We'll sort this out and whatever. But then that's the male's position, right? So I'm not. And then when that all falls apart and I go, okay, I'm trying to lean on you and I always fall flat on my face because they're not holding me, then it all falls apart. So it's interesting. But obviously I know there's something that I am blocking that type of man to come along. This is why I said trying, because I'm putting myself out there, and the one that seemed like very strong, they just stopped replying. So they're obviously feeling energetically that I'm still not there. And I get frustrated because I go, for goodness sake, I've done so much freaking work.
You have.
I want to just be. I'm sick of doing the work. Just appear already, and I will soften it and just appear.
What's your mum say about all this, out of interest? Because I know she's quite spiritual, but what does she say to you?
My mum and I,
like as your actual mum, what does she say?
My mum is cute. My mum, she used to do it when I was in Spain. When I lived in Spain, my mum was saying, "He's around the corner. He's around the corner." I was like, "Mum, you told me when I was in Italy and I went to London, no corner. I went all the corners in London, all the corners in Spain. Now I'm going in Australia, and I found him in Australia because my first boyfriend in Australia." And she was like, would never expect it was the Australian corner. I'm like, Santa Maria. I'm like, this is like legit. And now she started that again. She's like, it's just around the corner, Francesca. I'm like, Mum, do not say that. I'm not going to America now. I'm not moving.
No more corners. We got a lot of straight roads in Australia.
I know, like, what corner? But my mum, in all seriousness, my mum, she just says that there's no doubts that I'll find someone that will have a family. She keeps saying that. I'm sort of, I have to be honest, I start to doubt that I will have my own kids. I'm getting to that age that I'm like, I mean, time that I meet someone and you have a relationship, like, let's be a bit realistic, right? I'll be 40 plus. I don't know. What are the chances that
it can happen quick? Don't you worry about
it. Can.
I had my first at 36. So
yeah.
But I'm not saying, yeah.
Yeah, it can happen, but I don't want it to put all my happiness into that basket. You know what I mean? Like, I can be happy without kids. I can, and I also been thinking about it. Like, I think that what I actually want more is a family. So the family doesn't have to be my own, right? I can just meet someone that already have kids and just feel part of their family. Like, I would love that. That's why, you know who, but I was very interested in that last relationship after my last one because he already had a kid, and I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
let's go.
Because it is the family you crave. That's what I realized too. It wasn't, I mean, I was lucky enough to have my own, but I was with a guy before I had my own kids, and it dawned on me one day, oh wow, it's the family that I'm craving. He had little kids, and I just loved it. I was like fully in my motherhood, and I wasn't really one of those people that said, oh, I really, really, really want to have children. I never did. I just
it
just happened all of a sudden, accidentally,
Yeah, it's interesting because I've never thought I was a motherly person. Like, as you know, I've got people looking after me. I don't really cook anymore. I got a chef, I got a cleaner, I've got people that look after my car. I don't know any of the stuff. But I choose not to. I could, right? I could do. I've done it for years. I lived by myself all my life pretty much. But I choose not to. I'd rather spend quality time in other things. So I when I have kids, I could, or I could just have a nanny that helps in the things and whatever. But it's just the living a legacy. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I'm 38. When I'm 60, I want to be the rock to my kids, like my mom has been the rock to me. My mom is the rock. Like, honestly, I don't know what I would have done without my mom. Like, in the last literally 10 years, like, she's been my rock throughout the ups and downs. And living that first relationship here in Australia was devastated, and mom was always been there for me. So I want to be that person for my child.
Yeah, it's so true. And do you have lots of friends here in Australia? Like close friends that you can like be yourself with? That was my other question, because that can
I,
sometimes fill a hole.
I don't let many people in,
Why I asked you,
Michelle.
Francesca. You said nothing's out of bounds. I'm just
Yeah.
interested to hear the answer.
Yeah, go for it. I've got nothing to hold back. I don't have I don't let many people in for a few reasons, right? So at the beginning of the business, when I would let someone in, then it would easily turn out into I'm paying for everything, and they're picking my brain, and it was just like I felt used. But also the reason why I felt used is because it was my pattern. Every time I would get close to someone, I would feel used. So it wasn't them, it was me. It was my pattern. It was my way to protect me. So I felt used so that I could push them away so that I would be safe. Pretty much that's the pattern. Again, I didn't know about it.
Sounds the same as the males, pushing them away so you feel safe. Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it funny, the patterns that come out in our life? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No, don't be sorry. And so I pushed most people away. I have now a couple of really good friends that I can be 100% me. I still don't 100% call them. I'll just deal with my own stuff. And if they call me in the time, then I do. Like Diane is one of them. You know that, your beautiful sister. It's been really random with Diane because she started as a client, so I don't usually let clients in. But we just clicked, and it was quite easy. And she's very respectful of the relationship between being a client and being a friend. And we had really some conversation about it. And Diane, actually, I told her she saw me in my most vulnerable position I ever been in my entire life a couple of weeks ago. And I was literally sobbing for probably half an hour. And I have never, ever, and literally I realized that I was watching TikTok. You know me, I just that's my TikTok. I don't know what it is about TikTok, but I just can live like it's like watching a soap opera but in real life. So you can see other couples that do TikToks, and it's my way to manifest love. I don't know. I see families in it, and I just like it. So anyway, I was watching TikTok, and oh shit, I forgot what I was saying.
We're talking about Diane, and now you've got my. I've got a obsessed with TikTok too. Oh, geez.
Do you?
No, not TikTok. I did Married at First Sight. That's my guilty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, so, you were talking about Diane, and you were sobbing.
Yeah,
and you're really vulnerable. And then you're watching TikTok. I've lost it too. Don't worry.
I know, lost it. I was watching TikTok, and I just see that all this family are having. Oh yeah. I found it. So there was this daughter with her dad, and no, it wasn't TikTok. It was the Bachelorette.
Oh, see, maths and Bachelorette, same thing.
Guilty. Okay, so I'm watching the Bachelorette, and so I've got a strategy for the Bachelorette. I don't watch the whole first 10 episodes because they're boring and they're full of drama. I just watch from the moment they meet the families onwards. Right, so I just watched the top 4 people, and that's it, and I love it. So anyway, I watched that last 4 episodes in literally a weekend, and she was crying, sobbing with her dad, and she was saying, dad saw me when I left my ex, and I was really down, and I was sobbing with him, and I just went, wait a minute, I have never, ever cried in front of my parents since I've been an adult, cried in front of my mum or my dad, ever.
Holy dooly. Really?
Yeah. And so Diane, and when that happened, and I was sobbing, like true stories, sobbing, like I have not, even by myself, I don't cry that much, for a good half an hour to an hour. And Diane was so good. She was just holding space, and the more she held space, and what I was like, man, so I just kept crying. And it was really full on. And I never, ever done that in front of anybody until I was probably 15 in front of my girlfriends, when you just broke up with someone, and I just go into the house and cry, whatever. With my girlfriends, I could do that. But after that, I've just never, ever cried in front of someone that way. I just have a couple of tears or whatever, but not sobbing. So it was interesting when in the same week, I saw that lady, and I'm going, wow, I never ever cried for my mom and dad. And then doing that with Diane, I was like, shit, I actually don't let people in. And I don't even do that with myself, to be honest. If I'm sad, I just go in my head and I just find a solution. I rarely go there. At Tony Robbins, Tony Robbins, it was 4,000 people. So I've cried in front of people. But do you know what I mean? with a person. So when you ask me, you have friends that I'm myself with, it's a handful. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I just feel that the more you open up, the more this stuff's going to come in for you. And you already, I mean, just doing this podcast is huge.
Yeah.
Like that was part of the reason I was a little nervous because I know that you're quite private, and I was like, oh, I don't know what she wants to talk about here, and I don't want to
it's
push
interesting.
it.
I don't see myself as private at all. Like I don't think that, but maybe I have portrayed that to other
Again,
people.
it's just the portrayal. It's just what you
That's
put
really
out to the world.
interesting.
Yeah. And I've got a relationship with you that's a funny one too, because I'm your client. And I also feel like we're connected on a friendship level. So I was like, oh, how do I go about this? But you've been amazing. Like you just open up. And I think when people listen to this, they'll see a whole nother side of you that they didn't even know about, that they'll just be like, wow. Like, and I think this has probably opened up something universally for you as well. I don't know. I'm a bit woo-woo. But
I'll take it.
Yeah, like energetically, I feel like something's shifting for you. Like,
Yeah.
and it's coming and manifesting in things that you probably didn't even realize, like crying in front of Diane, the fact that you realized, you know, about your parents, the aha moments. They're like energetic shifts for you.
Yeah.
And
and I believe in that. I totally believe in energetic things. And this is why I sort of went a couple of weeks ago exhausted. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to, because someone told me, oh, energetically, you might have a block. And I'm like, far out, enough. I'm like, how many blocks can someone have? And I literally went, I was walking towards in the river, next to the river, and I just went, I'll surrender. Like, whatever you gotta do it. If I have to stay single all my life, freaking, I'll find happiness like in that. I mean, I'm quite happy. I'm not like depressed or anything, but I think I have been in the last year going through some type of depression. I don't want to say depression because I don't take pills or whatever, but I feel that in the last year has been really challenging between COVID and the biggest breakup and you know, being left with all these bills and things and the business not going as well as it's been a really tough year where I even thought a couple of times, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave it, I'm just gonna quit this freaking job with this business and get a freaking job. I actually thought that myself because the stress was beyond what I ever experienced, and I'm not someone that I want to fire people because the business is not going well, so I will put all that responsibility onto me. And I just like, this is exhausting. I just can't do this anymore. And I just went, I'll surrender. Whatever. You want to find me a kid, find it for me. You want to find a boyfriend, find it for me. You want to find me a husband. If not, I'm done. I'm done. Don't work for it. I'm done. And I literally, like, I was yelling at the river. I was like, I'm so done with people telling me you got to do more work. I'm like, I'm not doing more work. I'm enough.
I think that's the key here. The not working. It's the artist like lie on the floor sobbing and just go, it is what it is. Like, like letting yourself completely be open to whatever. Wow, huge things today to talk about. That was awesome. So what I want to ask you now, I've got a couple of deep questions. I know our conversation hasn't been a more spiritual one, but that's why I love this podcast. Everyone's different. Sometimes they go really woo-woo, and we've talked about.
I've got woo-woo stuff to talk about.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay, give us the woo-woo story then, because I've spoke to Alicia about her channeling.
Yes,
first guest, but give us a woo-woo.
Okay, well, my mom is very, very, very spiritual, but she was very afraid of it because when she was little, she did one of those table thingy, and the table was moving, like the
Ouija board.
Yes, and it was moving, and then the calendar moved, and like it was freaky. So she shut it out, so she wouldn't really do it. And then when I was little, I was always afraid of the dark because I could see things. And my mom was like, don't. She would just put candles. She would just be terrified of it until she started to embrace it. And mom now is like next level, like spiritual. She's so beautiful. And my mom, have hired her to be my spiritual healer in our business. So anyone on my team can do a spiritual session with my mom, and my clients, like you guys can do it.
I've got a session with the 500 Club. That's exciting.
Yeah, with the 500K Club, you guys have it. So it's really cool. But my mom is so beyond spiritual. I feel that I am, but again, I think I still block it a little bit because I don't understand it. So I can feel sometimes things, and I just get goosebumps and scared, and then I say, okay, thank you, I don't want it, I'm not open to it.
Changed my mind. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, just please go away, find another house to haunt. Like I just get a bit scared of that. But I do believe in next level, like energy field and vortex, and I listen to Abraham Hicks and Esther Hicks, and I just love spirituality. I feel that they don't teach us that stuff at school, where it's everything. Like I think I remember dating someone that used to say, what do you mean we are energy? We're not energy. I was like, okay, next
one. They're
what?
teaching it more in schools now, Francesca. It's amazing.
Do they?
Now my kids come back and they do yoga, they do meditation, mindset, they're learning about their feelings. But I took it to another level the other day. I had a letter come back and it said, Macy, she's in prep, and they were learning high frequency words. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. They're teaching their children about frequency and
wow.
No, it wasn't, Francesca. It was high frequency as in repetitive words.
But
I got so excited because they have changed a lot. They teach them so much stuff in school. So
wow.
Yes.
Now just next level. Yeah.
Quick question: do you have a appointment at 11? Because I've just got a couple. No,
go for it.
Yeah, I just didn't want to run over time if you had a back to back.
Let me double check.
You better check your calendar.
I said I haven't.
That was in my dream.
11:15. So
okay. Well, we'll start to round it up. Yeah. Well, you're obviously spiritual because you're coming in my dreams. Yeah. So your energies, and they're really, when I dream about yours, they're always really vivid and they're quite profound. So I'll just put it out there for that man's address to pop in for me, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Maybe just give him my address, even faster, right?
Even better. I'll just pass it on.
Come and find me. I am here. Maybe come with like a horse,
pick you up off the feet. Don't need to do anything, darling. I've got this.
Oh, my dream. Imagine.
Me
First
too,
date, it said I got this. This is it. I was like, okay, you're the one.
We have got a double date, man. We got to go find these men. I've got this man. This is my perfect man too. He's like, my perfect man is one that like does the gardening and he does the house stuff, and he's a real man. So I've got this. I'll pay the bills. Don't you worry. But you just do your business as a hobby. I've got this. You don't need to like make the money to pay the bills. Like that's my dream. I can.
Yeah, right.
I choose to, but I can. Yeah, that's cool. All right, we're putting it both out there.
I love it.
Okay. All right. So spiritual questions. So these are deep. So I channel Oprah. Do you watch Super Soul Sunday?
Nice.
Yeah. So her questions that she asked. So I wanted this to be like a bit of an Oprah feel. So I asked her questions at the end. And the first one is, what is the soul?
Oh, what is the soul? I always imagine, I don't know why, I just see this little ghosty little looking thing that they're all up there and then looking down and then going, I need to go into that family because they need to learn this and this and that, so I'm going to choose that body, and I just choose that belly and just go in and it just we are soul. I just believe that we are soul. So when you ask me what is a soul, I don't know how to explain it in words, but it's pretty much that little higher vibration of us that knows that we are in the right place at the right time, and there's no wrong moment, there is no wrong decision, there's no, this put us through challenges to make this world a better place. That's what I think.
That's a good answer. That's a cute answer. I love that. The little floaties that come into your belly. That's
yeah.
Really the next question, what happens after you die? Your belief system.
What happens after we die? I believe that our soul leaves the body, but we don't die. Like the soul never dies, and the soul goes and find another body to get them through the experience of the next level. So that soul would have different lives and different experiences, and I believe that is the soul is finding. I don't know. This is where my belief. I don't think that the soul is looking for perfection until they stop coming back. I think that the soul is the soul that is trying to make the body a better elevator version. So I don't know if the soul is going to be perfect to stop coming back. I think that the soul will always keep coming back to just elevate the energy and the vibration of the world.
And do you believe we go anywhere in between? Do you think it goes from one to the other?
It's funny you say that. I do have this image of this catch-up place in the sky where people go and I don't know where they come from, maybe from movies or maybe I visualize, I don't know. But I do feel, have you saw, what's the movie? I think it's called Soul. It's an actual cartoon. It's amazing because it talks about, you will love it. I'm going to send it to you.
Yes.
I think it's on Prime TV or something. But anyway, it's all about that. It's all about what's happened to the body, to the soul once it left the body. So it's really good movie.
I'm keen to watch that. So you should listen to Kelly, my last podcast with Kelly Reeves. So she actually had a near-death experience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she came up and was in like a waiting room and like waved through, and she's like, this is crazy. It's the craziest story. So have a listen. It's interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've read a lot about near-death experiences. They all have very similar things. So
wow.
That's cool. All right. And my last question is, what do you know for sure?
I love that question. I love that book.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, super, super good. I know for sure, and I truly do know for sure that I'm going to be fine. I know for sure that everybody's going to be fine. Like I know, I have no doubts that I can't make a wrong decision. There's no wrong decision. So I honestly, when I tapped into that, there's no fear. I can just go. And I am doing something crazy right now. I'm literally putting every cent that I have into this other apartment and I'm doing it. And there is, when I'm in ego, I'm like, what am I doing? There's fear that is this and that. And then when I do it because I know for sure that it's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. What's your ego's name?
Franchi.
When
my mom and dad used to call me Franchi when I was little. So every time I hear Franchi, it just triggers ego, and I'm just like,
that's good.
Little rebel smoking cigarettes. Like, actually, I've got a photo.
I can't believe you used to smoke. I nearly died when you told me that.
I used to smoke big time, like bad. Like, oh my God, if I can find it. I know that this makes noise, but you gotta see. I know that maybe we need to do something about it, by the way. Like, there's some of the photos that you're gonna die. I know. Okay,
listeners, she's gonna have to post these up on her group. This would be hilarious. This is getting vulnerable. You should see.
Okay, this one is me smoking. Look at that.
This does not look anything like her. Francesca Moi. This is Franchi, is it?
That's Franchi. Oh, yeah.
You have definitely created the Francesca Moi persona.
Oh, yeah. She was just a troublemaker. But I would do nothing better. I would never take drugs. I would never get drunk. I would just smoke like a chimney.
And sit on your hands and not talk.
Yeah. And I pretend I didn't know any answer.
Pretend that you're mute. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Oh, wow. What a conversation. This has been the best ever. I find it quite therapeutic for me, and I
love it.
People that are getting interviewed. It's pretty cool. Before we go, I want to just make sure everyone knows if they resonated, not if, because they will resonate with you. How could
they may not?
Well, they may not, and that's okay too. How can they get in contact with you and learn more about what you do? Oh my God, she's showing me pictures of dogs now.
I can't stop showing you a picture now because I've got them all in here. Okay, sorry. What do I have to share?
Where can people get in contact with you if they want to work with you or know more about what you do?
Look, come and check me out at the Workshop Secret for Coaches Facebook group. It's where I pop a lot of free value in there, so you can, go and come and learn. If you're a coach and you want to know more about how to get yourself into a one-to-many position and start to run workshops, then probably that's the right place for you to start. If you're not a coach and you just want to follow me, just find me on Facebook, friend me, and I'll go from there.
Lots of friends. So what's that group again? Workshop Secrets for
Coaches.
So Workshop Secrets for Coaches is our Facebook group, and she gives heaps of value in there.
Amazing.
Yeah, highly recommend, obviously, Francesca. As I said at the start of the interview, why I loved what she does. So, she's still, oh my God, Francesca, you should see the, I'm making it.
Where am I going to put them? I'm going to send them. You share it with them. What do you want in your group?
Yes, in our group. I'll share some if you're up for that.
Yeah, what's your group? Right.
So we've just changed our group name, actually. So we're Those Two Sisters, Time to Shine, with the number 2. That's our new group. And if you want to see these photos, I will post them up. Are you seriously up for that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So now they won't feel left out because we'll post the photos of Franchi. It's like, oh my God. Okay.
You need to choose which one am I going to share. All of them.
Oh, okay. We'll find a photo and pick it and put it. Oh my God, she's got a whole handful of them, everyone. Okay, we do a collage. Let's do a collage of old young little Frenchie and give her some love and bring her over to Australia. Embrace her, love her, tell her it's okay, and then the man will be here.
Let's all embrace Frenchie into Australia. That sounds good.
All right, we will do that. So I'll pop that up on Those Two Sisters Time to Shine Facebook group, and you'll be able to see the real Francesca.
The real Frenchie is coming out.
Watch out. All right, so thank you so much for opening up and being vulnerable. Of
course.
People get so much out of it when people share openly, like no holds barred, and I think it's awesome. And if this really changed your life, because people often come to me and say, oh my God, I listened to this podcast and it just changed my life. Make sure you let me know or let Francesca know. I say this every podcast because it makes such a huge difference to the person to say their message, and them opening up and being vulnerable actually help people. Huge. And if you're a male out there and you're interested in Francesca Moi, you must have to say, I've got this. Look after her. Let her just be Francesca and just pick her up and carry her off on the white horse. Please contact me.
Oh my God, Michelle, imagine if that happens.
Oh, you'll love me forever. I'll be your bridesmaid if this happens.
Oh, legit. I'll buy your house. Like,
I'm in.
Shit, now I said it. Well, look, honestly though, why not? Legit, what is going to, imagine if this happens.
Dating sites, just come to Michelle Ann's Soul Stories podcast.
Okay, Michelle, share this with as many people as possible. Okay. If you think you have a man that is that right man for me, should I just describe him?
Should I just share this on my snippet of my story? I've got to choose like a minute or so to put on my marketing. I'm going to choose this bit.
Oh my God, imagine. No, don't share this vulnerable stuff so people can find it useful. But hey, why not? Let's just put that in my Bumble maybe. Yeah,
I can share it twice. I'll do the vulnerable and then I'll do a marketing for the man.
I love it.
Okay. Get my VAs onto it.
Everybody, if not, just manifest it for me. It's fine.
Okay. Right. But then when you get this man and people listen to the podcast, it's going to be irrelevant. What are we going to do then?
What do you mean?
Well, we just talked about the whole thing about...
There will be more problems. Don't worry. There's always something.
We'll do another interview.
There's always something, right? Don't worry. We're not always going to be like 100% happy. It's always 50-50. This is the problem with people, that they think like that once I get there, then I'll be happy. Bullshit. Once you get there, you have something else to complain about.
This is so true. So true.
So let's bring it on. I'm ready for the next problem. I've been complaining about this for too long.
11 o'clock on the dot. So my nightmares were incorrect. We are on time. I know you're a busy woman. So 11:15. So as I said, thank you so much for sharing. And I
thank you for having me.
See all this and how it plans out. And we'll get those photos up on Those Two Sisters Time to Shine ASAP. All right, Francesca.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. Hey, if you enjoy listening to this podcast, then you have to come to check out our Facebook group, Workshop Secrets for Coaches. It's a community of over 9,500 coaches that are ready to boom their business by running workshops. They are stuck in one-on-one coaching and they're ready to start to go one-to-many. So if you are one of those coaches, then you have to join us. I look forward to see you there. And hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave me a review to win a ticket to one of my workshops. I look forward to see you there.